I speak to you now as one who has walked the silent corridors of the mind and discovered there a presence brighter than 10,000 suns. This presence I call the inner Christ, not a man, not a figure in history, but the living word of God moving through you even now. It is a still architect within the heart of every soul, waiting for your decree. It is that same spirit which said in the beginning, "Let there be light," and the light that answered was your own awareness. Pause and listen. The universe you see around you is a mirror of the unseen decree you gave yesterday. Every tree, every circumstance, every face that meets you on the road is an echo of the words you have sown in secret. For it is written, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." Proverbs 18 verse 21. Your word is the royal seed, and your subconscious is the fertile soil. Whatever you plant therein, whether faith or fear, love or resentment, will sprout after its kind. The law is impartial. It is a gardener who never sleeps. It asks only, "What seed have you given me?" I learned this not in the hush of a temple alone, but in the laboratories of living. Once, a businessman came to me burdened by failure. His stores had dwindled, his employees despaired, his nights were restless. He said, "Dr. Murphy, I have prayed, I have begged, but nothing changes." I answered, "You have prayed with words of defeat. You have said, 'Nothing works for me,' and the soil obeyed your command." Then I taught him the law of reversal, to speak only what he desired, never what he feared. Every morning he declared, "Everything I touch prospers. Divine intelligence guides me in all transactions." He saw himself surrounded by light, felt gratitude as though the miracle were done. Within 3 months, his failing business blossomed into surplus. The same employees now walk with laughter. What had changed? Not the world, his word. The subconscious mind is a silent builder, the mason of destiny. It holds no opinion. It holds only patterns. It cannot discern between jest and earnest. It only knows belief plus feeling. Therefore, you must become the wise gardener of your thought. You must plant only that which you wish to reap. As in Genesis, the earth brought forth fruit after his kind. So does the soil of your inner earth. When you speak the word of health, you imprint upon divine matrix an image of perfect order, and every cell responds. Every cell of my body is under divine order now. I tell you truly, the body listens. It is a servant of your inner decree. Science today whispers the same mystery in another tongue. They call it the placebo effect, yet I call it the faith effect. The molecule obeys the mood. Your bloodstream is an orchestra, following conductor of your conviction. When you say with feeling, "I am whole, I am free," the body becomes the obedient instrument of that tone. The secret is not to strive, but to know. For the inner Christ does not struggle to create. It simply utters, and it is. All creation is the echo of divine imagination married to feeling. That is why the Master said, "When you pray, believe that you have received it." To believe you have received is to speak from the end, not toward it. To say, "I am prosperous," though appearances deny it, is to proclaim the seed of abundance. Do not dig up your seed with words of doubt. Let the law work in the darkness. The roots know what to do. There is a holy moment each night before you sleep, the threshold between waking and dream. In that drowsy gate, the conscious guard grows tender, and the subconscious receives without resistance. That is the night seed principle. Whatever thought you cradle there sinks deep and multiplies. If you fall asleep murmuring fear, you water weeds. If you fall asleep whispering faith, you water gardens of gold. Therefore, become the watchman of your last word each night. Speak life before sleep. Say, "My word is my seed. My seed is my reality." Tonight I plant life, health, and abundance. I recall a woman who came to me in despair, her body tormented by what physicians called incurable. She said, "I cannot bear another night of pain." I told her, "Let tonight be your new Genesis. As you drift asleep, picture yourself radiant and free. Feel as though every cell sings with divine order. Repeat gently, 'Divine love surrounds me, enfolds me, and protects me.'" She did this faithfully for 40 nights. The disease dissolved like mist before dawn. Her physician, puzzled, said, "It is remission." But she smiled and said, "No, it is submission. my body submitting to the law of divine life. Such as the power of the inner Christ, which is a presence that heals and creates. Beloved, the Christ within you is not a distant figure. It is the very awareness of wholeness pressing to be known. When you say I am, you awaken it. Those two words are the gateway to heaven or to bondage, depending on what follows them. When you add a word of truth, I am strong, I am guided, I am prosperous, you align with divine pattern. When you add a word of fear, I am weak, I am alone, you misdirect the creative fire. Therefore, guard the throne of your speech. Your every sentence is a blueprint to the builder within. Choose wisely, for the subconscious is faithful unto death. It will build a tomb or the temple according to your decree. The mystics of old veiled this truth in parables. They said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. The heart means the subconscious. The mouth, your outer word. When the two agree, creation is instantaneous. This is a marriage of word and image, the sacred union of thought and feeling. One without the other is barren. A prayer without emotion is like a letter never mailed. A feeling without word is a storm without direction. But when you wed them, when your heart feels what your lips declare, you set divine law in motion. Visualize your desire as though it were now. See it with the eyes of imagination. Feel its reality. Then seal it with a spoken word. Say softly, thank you, Father, that it is done. Then rest, for creation is finished in that moment. What remains is the unfolding in time. Listen to the wisdom of Romans 4 verse 17. God calleth those things which be not as though they were. You are invited to do the same, for you are made in that image. When you call health where none appears, you are not deceiving yourself. You are summoning the pattern of perfection already written in divine mind. When you call prosperity in the midst of lack, you are not lying. You are speaking from the higher law where abundance eternally exists. Your word bridges the unseen and the seen. Do not fear contradictions in appearance. They are but the shadows that flee before new light. Say within, everything I touch prospers. I am divinely guided in all I do. Say it until the vibration of truth outweighs the echo of doubt. Soon the subconscious accepts the new command as law, and the outer world rearranges itself to comply. Remember, beloved, the subconscious is not persuaded by logic, but by impression. Emotion is the stamp upon the wax. If your words are cold, the wax remains unsealed. But if your words burn with conviction, the seal of faith is set. Therefore, speak not mechanically, but with feeling. Let gratitude be the perfume of your prayer. Gratitude is faith celebrating in advance. I have seen countless souls transformed through this simple law. A man once wrote me from London, saying he was destitute, estranged from family, and losing hope. I replied, each night before sleep, imagine receiving a letter of good news. Feel the joy of restoration. Say, divine order governs my life. All things are working together for good. He obeyed. Within weeks, an estranged brother invited him into a thriving enterprise. He said, it was as if invisible hands rearranged my world. Indeed, those were the hands of his own subconscious, guided by divine intelligence. Let science affirm the mystery. Neurobiology now reveals that the brain rewires through repeated imagination and emotion. They call it neuroplasticity. I call it answer prayer. The same law of belief that moves the atom moves the circumstance. Faith is the invisible electricity of the soul. Your word is the switch. Therefore, speak light, speak life, speak abundance. Let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth, but only that which ministers grace unto the hearer. And you are the first hearer of your words. Pause and feel this truth. Every moment you are broadcasting decrees into the substance of mind. The atmosphere around you is charged with your tone. When your inner speech is harmonious, people feel peace in your presence. When your inner speech is bitter, the same law reproduces that bitterness. Thus the Christ said, the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. Make your words spirit and life. For your tongue is the pen of a ready writer, and the book it writes is your tomorrow. Tonight, before you sleep, sit in the stillness of your room. Let every lamp be a symbol of inner illumination. Take a page and write your new decrees, not as wishes, but as facts of faith. Right. Everything I touch prospers. Every cell of my body is under divine order now. I am divinely guided in all I do. Divine love surrounds me, enfolds me, and protects me. Read them aloud slowly, feeling their truth. Let your subconscious hear only these royal commands as you cross into sleep. Erase the old script of worry. This night you become the author of new beginnings. For the inner Christ within you waits only for your word to move upon the waters. The word you have written tonight is the seed of a new creation. Guard it tenderly, for unseen forces are already at work beneath the soil of consciousness. No farmer digs up a seed to see if it grows. He trusts the law. So too must you trust the law of the word. Faith is the resting of the soul in divine certainty. It does not demand visible proof. It knows that the unseen is more real than the seen. The eyes of flesh perceive the shadows, but the eyes of spirit behold the substance. In the beginning God spoke, and the worlds were framed by the word. That word is still speaking through you. Each time you declare I am, you let the eternal utterance roll again through human lips. The Christ in you, the indwelling logos, is God's creative speech individualized. You are not merely repeating words of power. You are letting power itself find expression. Therefore, speak as one who knows. Do not plead with heaven. Decree from within it. The prayer of the awakened soul is not begging. It is being. You are the word made flesh when your inner conviction matches your spoken decree. There is a sacred architecture within the subconscious. Every thought is a line drawn upon its blueprint. Every feeling, a stroke of color upon the canvas of reality. When your word and emotion agree, the design becomes inevitable. This is the mystery of the double imprint, word and image joined. When the builder has both plan and passion, he cannot fail to raise the temple. So it is with you. Let your words shape the plan and your feeling breathe life into it. I have often said, your imagination is God's creative workshop. If you imagine lack, you fashion chains. If you imagine supply, you build gates of gold. The subconscious obeys the imagination as the tide obeys the moon. It moves silently, rhythmically, irresistibly toward the image impressed upon it. Therefore, clothe your imagination with love. See yourself radiant, fulfilled, useful, inspired. Let every picture in your mind be a prophecy of blessing. A man once told me he could not visualize. I said, then feel, for feeling is the deeper vision. The moment you feel that a thing is true, the subconscious accepts it. The emotion of belief is the key that opens every locked door. As Romans 10 declares, with the heart man believeth unto righteousness. The heart means a feeling nature. When you feel yourself already healed, already supplied, already forgiven, you align with the finished work of the inner Christ. Remember, this presence is not reached by climbing. It is recognized by stillness. Be still and know that I am God. The I am within you, not outside. Cease striving, and the divine order emerges of itself. The vine does not strain to bear fruit. It abides in the sap of life. So abide in the awareness of divine completeness. Let go of anxious effort. Relax into assurance. Say within, it is done. The Lord, the law, has perfected that which concerneth me. Every true demonstration begins in silence. Silence is the womb of creation. Before any outward miracle, there's an inward stillness, a holy pause where the infinite conceives through you. In that quiet, the word stirs. It gathers energy like a seed under soil, unseen yet alive with potential. Then at the appointed hour, it bursts forth as form, event, or encounter. No human timing can hasten or hinder it. The law brings forth after its season. Trust the rhythm. The orchard knows when to bloom. You may ask, Dr. Murphy, what if fear keeps returning? Then meet it not with argument, but with truth spoken gently and persistently. Say, peace, be still. Say it until the storm within obeys. The subconscious is like a child comforted by repetition. Each repetition imprints deeper calm. Soon the fear dissolves for lack of nourishment. Feed only faith. I recall a nurse who once wrote me, saying she lived under constant anxiety. She feared losing her job, feared illness, feared the future. I taught her the law of emotional transmutation, to change the current by changing the word. Whenever fear arose, she declared softly, "Divine love fills my mind and heart. I walk in peace." At first she felt nothing, but she persisted. After several weeks, she said, "Something shifted. The same hospital, the same duties, yet a new atmosphere follows me. Even patients say they feel calm when I enter." She had changed her inner speech, and the outer world echoed back the new melody. Understand this. Your environment is a mirror, not a master. It reflects your dominant vibration. If you wish to alter the reflection, change the image within. You cannot fight shadows. You must light the lamp. The lamp is your conscious word charged with faith. The oil that keeps it burning is emotion, the deep feeling of certainty. Keep that lamp lit, and darkness cannot enter. Modern science glimpses this truth through quantum lenses. They tell us the observer influences the observed, that attention collapses possibility into fact. This is the modern phrasing of the ancient law, as a man thinketh in his heart. So is he. Your sustained attention is the prayer that shapes matter. Look steadfastly at the good, and the good solidifies. Turn away from the false appearance, and it withers for want of energy. What you ignore, you erase. What you bless, you multiply. Bless everything and everyone, for to bless is to increase. Now, let us turn inward again. Close the outer eyes of distraction. See within your mind a radiant light, soft, golden, expanding from the center of your chest. Feel it pulse with quiet power. This is the inner Christ, the living presence that heals and creates. It whispers, "Fear not, I am with you always." Let that presence move through your body now, to every nerve, every cell, every organ. Affirm with me, every cell of my body is under divine order now. Divine love surrounds me, enfolds me, and protects me. I am divinely guided in all I do. Repeat until you sense the still joy of fulfillment. This is not imagination alone. It is spiritual chemistry. The vibration of these truths rearranges the molecular order of the body and the magnetic field around you. You are literally building health, peace, and success into form. When Jesus said, "According to your faith be it unto you," he revealed the universal formula. Faith is a mold. Experience is a cast. What you hold inwardly with feeling must manifest outwardly in kind. Therefore, never let your inner conversation wander into complaint or fear. Guard it as you would guard a sacred flame in the wind. The fire of the word must not be extinguished by idle chatter. Let your speech, both aloud and inward, be an unbroken stream of affirmation. When you walk through the day, whisper to yourself, "Everything I touch prospers. Divine intelligence directs me. I am a channel of blessing." Let these be your secret melodies. They will tune your consciousness to harmony, and harmony is the music of heaven. Beloved, you are not learning to create something new. You are remembering what has always been true. The inner Christ within you has never been sick, never been poor, never been afraid. It is pure awareness, whole, perfect, eternal. When you align your thought with that awareness, its perfection flows into your affairs. That is healing, not a change in God, but a change in viewpoint. You cease looking through the glass darkly and begin to behold face to face. Let this realization grow through practice, not strain. The subconscious loves rhythm and repetition. Therefore, adopt a nightly ritual that seals truth within before sleep. For as you learned, the moments before slumber are the open gate. Whatever word you send then becomes a command for the coming day. Use that power wisely. Plant life before you drift into dream. Tonight, when the world grows silent and the mind softens into drowsiness, practice the whisper method. As you lie upon your bed, breathe slowly and deeply. Let every exhale release the memory of the day. Then, in that sweet twilight between waking and sleep, whisper your new decree as though speaking to a beloved child. My word is my seed. My seed is my reality. Tonight I plant life, health, and abundance. Repeat it with tenderness, not force. Feel it settle into the depths like a golden seed sinking into fertile earth. If stray thoughts arise, bless them and return to your whisper. Soon your words will become luminous in the darkness. You will feel the presence within you, the inner Christ, weaving your decree into form. Sleep then in peace, knowing the silent builder labors faithfully through the night. And when dawn returns, the world will begin to mirror the beauty you have spoken in secret. The night has passed, beloved, and the seed you planted in silence stirs within the soil of the subconscious. Now a new dawn breaks upon your horizon. The light that kindled the first sunrise now glows again within you. This is not merely another day of passing hours. This is a day of divine awakening. The day the inner Christ walks forth clothed in your consciousness. I speak to you now as one reborn each morning by the word. For every dawn is a resurrection. The same power that rolled away the stone from the tomb rises through your awareness at every awakening. The moment you open your eyes, the law begins to build according to your first decree. What you say in that first instant is prophecy. It is your Genesis spoken anew. Let there be light. Therefore, train your tongue and your thought to utter only light. Many rise from sleep and say, "Oh, another weary day." And the universe answers, "As you decree, so shall it be." Their words become their weather. But you awaken to law, shall rise and say, "This is a day the Lord, the law good, has made. I rejoice and am glad in it." Say it with conviction. Feel the pulse of divine energy in your veins. Say within, "The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me. He anoints my hands to prosper, my mind to perceive, my lips to bless." Thus you begin the day as a creator, not a creature of circumstance. The mind upon awakening is like freshly turned earth, soft, open, ready to receive. Your first word is the morning seed. It will color every encounter, shape every event, determine whether the hours bring harvest or waste. Therefore, make the first minute holy. Do not reach first for the noise of the world. Reach inward for the voice of the Spirit. Listen, it whispers, "Be still and know that I am God." Let your first act be stillness. Breathe deeply, as though inhaling the breath of creation itself. Feel that presence filling you, the same presence that spoke the galaxies into order. It has never left you. It awaits your recognition each dawn. Whisper to yourself, "I and the Father are one. The Father within me doeth the works." Then rise in peace, clothed with divine confidence. The world will reflect that inner poise. Consider this. Life is not happening to you. It is happening through you. You are the channel of infinite life, not its victim. To begin the day with fear or resentment is to clog the channel. To begin with praise is to fling wide the gates of supply. Choose praise. Let gratitude be your first word, and the law will echo gratitude back to you all day long. Say, "Thank you, Father, for this radiant day. Thank you for divine wisdom guiding every step. Thank you for health flowing through my body." You are tuning the instrument of your soul to the key of heaven, and heaven will play through you accordingly. Once a young architect came to me in California. He said, "Dr. Murphy, each morning I wake heavy with dread. My projects fail, my clients vanish, my creativity dries." I asked, "What are your first words upon waking?" He said, "Usually, 'Oh, God, not again.'" I smiled and said, "Then each morning you sign a contract for repetition of yesterday's gloom." I taught him the morning decree. Today, infinite intelligence governs my thoughts and actions. The divine architect within me designed success. Everything I touch prospers. He practiced this for 3 weeks. Soon commissions began to pour in. New inspiration stirred within him. He wrote later, "My mornings have become miracles." Indeed, for he had changed the opening line of his daily script. Your subconscious never sleeps. It obeys continuous command. At night you plant. In the morning you water with fresh conviction. Every dawn is a second sowing. If the night is feminine, receptive, gestative, then the morning is masculine, expressive, dynamic. Both are halves of one sacred rhythm. To master this rhythm is to master manifestation. Speak by night as the bride. Act by day as the builder. The inner and outer unite, and creation becomes effortless. When you arise, let the sun remind you of your own nature. For as the sun rises by decree of law, so does your consciousness ascend by the decree of your word. Say to yourself, "I am a son in the system of divine mind, radiating light, love, and power. Feel your words as waves of light expanding beyond your room, blessing all you will meet. Bless every path before you tread it. Bless the traffic, the colleagues, the strangers. The blessed path cannot curse you. Your day will unfold in harmony because you pre-wrote it in grace. Now listen to this truth. You are never a passive observer in the theater of life. You are the playwright, the stage, and the actor combined. The subconscious is your stage crew, setting scenery according to your script. If you expect confusion, they arrange confusion. If you decree order, they arrange order. When you wake each morning, you hand them new instructions. Make them divine. Say inwardly, order, harmony, beauty, and abundance expressed to me today. And they will obey. Science confirms this hidden alchemy. Neuroscientists have found that morning thoughts prime the brain's reticular activating system, the filter that decides what you notice. When you declare, "Everything I touch prospers," your mind literally begins to seek and spotlight opportunities matching that belief. This is divine law seen through a microscope. Faith and focus are one mechanism, viewed through two languages, spiritual and scientific. Both agree, what you impress, you express. A woman once told me she dreaded mornings because she awoke lonely. I said, replace the word lonely with lovely. Each dawn, she whispered, this is a lovely morning. Divine love greets me. I walk in companionship of angels. Within weeks, her demeanor changed. New friends appeared. Eventually, she married a kind man she met at the park where she took her morning walks. She said, I stopped asking for love and started declaring it. That is the secret. Whatever you declare with feeling, you attract its likeness. In Scripture we read, in the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thy hand. Morning sowing is your conscious decree. Evening sowing is your subconscious whisper. By holding both ends of the day in faith, you weave a golden net that gathers blessings continually. If you neglect the morning, the weeds of yesterday return. If you neglect the evening, the soil lies untended. Keep both sacred, and the harvest will astonish you. The morning is also your time of renewal. Each night you return to source. Each morning you emerge refreshed from the sea of spirit. Your first word must recognize this renewal. Say within, behold, I make all things new. Do not carry yesterday's failures into today's dawn. They are ashes, and the fire has already made them fertile soil. Let go. Forgive quickly. Bless generously. Expect magnificently. When you walk to your mirror, look not at the face of age or imperfection, but at the living temple of God. Say to your reflection, Christ in me is the light of my countenance. The presence within me radiates beauty and strength. Do not flatter vanity. Awaken divinity. For as you look, the cells themselves listen. They vibrate to your verdict. Speak blessing and the body blossoms. Condemn it and it withers. Remember always, your word is law to the flesh. A scientist friend once told me, Dr. Murphy, it seems superstition to speak to one's body. I replied, yet your cells already obey your emotions, which are but silent words. Why not give them conscious ones? He smiled and began to experiment. He affirmed each morning, every organ of my body works in divine rhythm. Every nerve and muscle sings in harmony. Months later he told me, my fatigue vanished, my digestion improved, and my colleagues call me the indefatigable man. He had proven spiritual psychology through practice. Beloved, morning is not a time on the clock. It is a state of consciousness. You may wake at midnight or at noon, whenever you turn toward light. It is morning in the soul. Therefore, let each awakening, literal or symbolic, be sacred. If despair knocks, answer not with complaint, but with command. Peace, be still. I know the truth of my being, and it sets me free. Then act as though the prayer were already answered. Faith walks where sight hesitates. Now understand a deeper mystery. Your morning decree not only molds your day, it imprints the collective field of humanity. Every loving thought you think contributes to the healing of the world. You are not a solitary soul. You are a cell in the body of mankind. When you rise in joy, you lift many unseen hearts. The Christ within you is the same Christ within all, whispering through countless tongues, be made whole. Therefore, rise not for yourself alone, but for the world. Let your first word each morning be a blessing upon earth itself. Say, peace to all beings, love to all hearts, light to all minds. Heaven records such decrees and multiplies them. Your day is a sermon written in invisible ink. Every gesture, every tone of voice, every thought broadcast becomes part of that sermon. When you begin the day in conscious union with the inner Christ, your very presence becomes healing. People feel lighter when you enter a room. Confusion dissolves, laughter returns. You need not preach. Your vibration preaches silently. That is the greatest ministry, to carry peace so strongly that others remember their own. Let this truth sink deep. You are not seeking the presence. You are letting it express. The river does not search for water. It flows because it is water. Stop seeking and start shining. Say within, the presence that heals and creates flows through me now. Then move through your day as its ambassador. Every task becomes sacred. Every encounter becomes holy ground. If ever doubt arises, pause and breathe. Remind yourself, I am the living temple of the Most High. Nothing can oppose the law of good within me. That remembrance realigns your field immediately. The subconscious responds like a compass needle returning to north. Make this your invisible practice, to reset to truth throughout the day. Soon the reset becomes your resting state. And when evening comes again, you will find the circle complete. The day sown in morning light, harvested in evening peace. For the law works round the clock, faithful, tireless, exact. As you treat your mornings, so shall your life unfold, luminous, ordered, abundant. Tomorrow morning, and every morning henceforth, before your feet touch the floor, create your day in consciousness. Lie still for a moment and say aloud or within, this is a day the Lord has made. I rejoice and am glad in it. Infinite intelligence governs my every step. Everything I touch prospers. Divine love surrounds me, enfolds me, and protects me. See your day bathed in golden light. Feel success already accomplished, health already radiant, peace already secure. Then rise and act as though heaven itself walks beside you, for it does. You will discover the world rearranging itself to honor your decree. Your mornings will become gateways of miracles, and your life a continual sunrise of divine creation. I tell you now, the Christ within you does not sleep. He is the eternal builder, the master architect of your destiny. Though you may forget him in the noise of the day, he never forgets you. He keeps watch beneath the threshold of your awareness, silently obeying the blueprint you hand him through your thoughts, your emotions, your words. Every decree you utter is a living command in the invisible workshop of God. Your subconscious receives it as a seed, waters it with emotion, and brings it forth after its kind. If you say, I am weak, the silent builder constructs weakness in your experience. If you say, I am whole, I am strength, I am life, then even your cells hear that music and begin to dance to it. And that is why the Master said, by your words you are justified, and by your words you are condemned. Matthew 12, verse 37. He was not speaking of outer judgment. He was describing the law of mind, the law of creative speech. For your tongue is the pen of a ready writer, and the book it writes upon is your own subconscious. In the early dawns of creation, the Spirit moved upon the face of the waters and said, let there be light. That divine utterance was the first affirmation. It is written not as history, but as eternal psychology, showing you that your words are the light bringers of your world. When you say, let there be harmony in my home, and feel the sweetness of peace as though it were already so, the very atoms rearrange themselves to obey that decree. When you whisper, let there be order in my finances, and believe it, the Christ presence moves through invisible channels to bring supply, ideas, and open doors. The command is never lost. The word is never void. It accomplishes what you send it forth to do. I remember a man who came to me once, his face weary, his voice trembling with the burden of failure. He said, Dr. Murphy, I've tried everything, affirmations, prayers, visualizations, and still nothing works. I smiled and asked him what he spoke when he was alone, when no one was there to impress. He said, I often say, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't get a break. There was his secret prayer. He had planted weeds and expected roses. I told him to change his inner speech, to begin saying gently but persistently, everything I touch prospers. Divine intelligence guides me in all I do. I am blessed beyond measure. He began to feel the meaning of his new words. Within 6 weeks, the contract that had long been delayed was approved. Within 6 months, he owned the firm that had once employed him. He discovered the law that had been working all along, impartial, tireless, perfect. For the subconscious does not argue. It simply builds according to the pattern given. Every civilization rises or falls by its inner speech. Your personal world, too, is a civilization built by decrees of thought and feeling. In 2025, the outer world hums with technology, data, and machinery. Yet within each man still lives the ancient builder, the timeless Christ, waiting for the architect's command. You, my friend, are that architect. You draft the blueprints in thought. You write the commands in words. You seal the design with feeling. When you affirm health with conviction, the subconscious becomes a physician. When you affirm abundance with gratitude, the subconscious becomes a banker. When you affirm harmony and love, the subconscious becomes a peacemaker. Emotion is the electricity that turns the silent machine. Without feeling, words are shadows. With feeling, they become fire. So tonight, as you speak, speak not as a beggar pleading for what is not, but as a king decreeing what is. Say with inner authority, my word is my seed. My seed is my reality. I plant only what I wish to reap. Say it as one who knows the soil is already rich, already receptive. Now hear me. You are about to enter a holy experiment. For the next 7 days, I invite you into what I call the 7-day word fast challenge. For 7 days, refuse to speak a single word of defeat, limitation, fear, or resentment. Fast not from food, but from negative speech. Let no complaint pass your lips. Let no self-pity find utterance. And if such words rise to the tongue, pause and replace them instantly with their divine opposites. If you begin to say, I'm tired, replace it with, I am divinely renewed. If you begin to say, I never have enough, replace it with, I am supplied in all good things. If you begin to say, nothing works for me, replace it with, everything unfolds in divine order. Do this not mechanically, but reverently. Each word you speak is a chisel shaping destiny. Each silence you hold is a field in which new creation ripens unseen. At first you will catch yourself many times. That is part of the purification. But soon, as your tongue is disciplined, your heart will follow. And when the heart and tongue agree, heaven is born upon the earth of your life. Let this be your sacred affirmation looped through the 7 days. Every cell of my body is under divine order now. Everything I touch prospers. I am divinely guided in all I do. Divine love surrounds me, enfolds me, and protects me. My word is my seed. My seed is my reality. Tonight I plant life, health, and abundance. Speak them morning, noon, and night. Feel their fragrance in your heart. See the invisible gardener moving through the field of your mind. Watch the old weeds wither, the new blossoms appear. And know that the inner Christ, the presence that heals and creates, is doing his perfect work through you, as you for you. Pause now, breathe, and know that the word is made flesh. For 7 days, guard your tongue as a sacred gate. Speak only words of life, health, abundance, peace, and joy. Each time a lesser word arises, transmute it instantly into its divine opposite. Keep a small notebook or phone note. Record each victory of silence and each transformation of speech. At night, repeat your affirmation loop until sleep gently overtakes you. My word is my seed. My seed is my reality. Tonight I plant life, health, and abundance. Do this, and you will discover what I discovered long ago. The tongue of man is the scepter of God in disguise. Use it with love, and all the kingdoms of your life will answer. I speak now of the most silent miracle of all, forgiveness, the great cleansing river of the soul. Many imagine forgiveness to be a gesture toward another, a reluctant pardon granted by lips still trembling with pain. But I tell you, forgiveness is not an act of the outer man. It is the awakening of the inner Christ who says within you, "Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more." It is a moment when divine reason rises above memory and emotion, and the soul sees only truth, that every shadow was born of ignorance, not evil. The subconscious remembers every word, every tone, every thought you have ever impressed upon it. When you refuse to forgive, you bind yourself to those vibrations. You replay the discordant record night and day. The body suffers. The mind stiffens. Opportunities fade. For the river of life cannot flow through a dam of resentment. But when you forgive, truly forgive, you open the floodgates. Life rushes back in with healing in its wings. Remember the word of Proverbs 18 verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Unforgiveness is a tongue turned inward against the self. Forgiveness is the same power turned toward resurrection. The instant you declare, "I release all men and women to God, and I am free," the Christ presence begins its divine surgery. Cells quicken, nerves relax, the blood runs pure again. You are not excusing another's error. You are freeing yourself from the hallucination of separation. I once knew a woman who had been ill for 15 years. Every physician, every treatment had failed. Her face was drawn with chronic pain. Her nights were sleepless. As we spoke, she mentioned a sister she had not seen in 20 years. "Have you forgiven her?" I asked. Her eyes flashed. "Never," she said. "She ruined my life." I told her gently, "No, my dear, it was the thought of her that had continued to ruin it. Forgive her now, not for her sake, but for yours." She went home and began every morning with these words. "Divine love fills my soul. I bless my sister with peace and plenty. I am free and she is free." At first she spoke them coldly, mechanically, but she persisted. After 3 weeks, tears came. After 6, laughter. One morning she awoke, without pain for the first time in 15 years. A letter arrived that same week. Her sister had written out of the blue, asking forgiveness too. The bridge had been rebuilt by invisible hands. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is creative strength. To forgive is to assume the mind of Christ, to say to the subconscious, "Erase that pattern now. It is no longer needed." And the great law obeys. Modern science now observes what mystics always knew, that resentment produces toxins, that loving kindness alters the chemistry of the body, that thought patterns register in cell behavior. What the physician sees as hormones and neurotransmitters, the mystic named spirit made flesh. When you bless another, you bless yourself. When you curse another, you curse yourself. There's only one mind, one ocean, and we are all waves upon its surface. Therefore, to forgive another is simply to restore your own peace with the whole. Let your inner speech this week be gentle toward all. If an old image of wrong arises, do not wrestle it. Bless it and release it. Say softly, "Father, forgive them, for they know not the law they break." And feel the cool river pass through you, washing away every trace of bitterness. Protective decrees. Now that the heart is cleansed, the light can form its shield. For divine love not only heals, it also protects. Every morning, before the world touches you, stand still and say aloud, "Divine love surrounds me, enfolds me, and protects me. The light of God goes before me. The presence of God is within me. No evil can come nigh my dwelling, for I dwell in the secret place of the Most High." Feel these words as a radiant armor. See yourself walking through the day clothed in a garment of golden light. When anger approaches, it dissolves before that brightness. When fear whispers, it loses its voice. You have set up a frequency incompatible with harm. This is not superstition, it is law. The subconscious accepts every vivid image impressed with faith. What you imagine with love becomes a pattern it fulfills. So imagine now that your home, your loved ones, your affairs are spheres of white brilliance, the presence of the inner Christ shining through all. Then go about your work with calm assurance, for protection is not resistance. It is recognition of divine unity. Pause now. Feel the peace that passes understanding. The forgiveness you have offered is returning to you multiplied. The love you have decreed is clothing you in strength. The Christ within whispers, "All is well, all is forgiven, all is safe in me." Tonight, before sleep, review the day in stillness. If any shadow of resentment appears, speak this prayer. I release you to God. I bless you and I am free. Imagine the person bathed in light until your heart feels soft again. Then declare your protective decrees 3 times aloud. Divine love surrounds me, enfolds me, and protects me. Drift into rest knowing that the inner Christ keeps vigil as you sleep. Do this for 7 nights. You will awaken lighter, clearer, and strangely luminous. For the forgiven mind becomes the open channel of miracles. Forgiveness opens the door. Union steps through it. For when the heart is washed clean, the divine architect begins to reveal his design again. Every soul is a blueprint of the infinite, and the pattern of that perfection waits only for acknowledgement. When you forgive, the cement of resistance crumbles, and the builder, the subconscious mind, guided by the inner Christ, begins to rebuild from a higher plan. The voice of spirit whispers, "Behold, I make all things new." The weary structure of the old self falls away. In its place rises a temple not made with hands. The moment you sincerely forgive, you enter the vibration of your own answered prayer. For no prayer can ascend higher than the heart from which it comes. A resentful heart prays in vain, but a loving heart touches the hem of the garment, where healing power forever flows. I recall a man of business who once came to me filled with fear. He had been betrayed by a partner, slandered in public, and left in debt. Each night, he replayed the injustice. Each morning he awoke with dread. I said to him, "Until you bless that man, you will remain chained to him." He looked at me as though I had asked the impossible. Yet he obeyed, out of desperation more than faith. Every day for 30 days he repeated, "I bless my former partner with the riches of God. I release him completely and I am free." At first, the words tasted bitter. Then something broke. On the 31st day, he told me he felt a sudden wave of peace. Within the week, an unexpected client appeared, offering a contract that restored twice his former wealth. The old partner moved to another city, and both men prospered in separate paths. He said, "Doctor, I realize now I was not releasing him. I was releasing myself." Yes, forgiveness is a master key. When you unlock another from your judgment, you find your own door opening. The subconscious no longer feeds on poison. It drinks from the well of peace. Now listen carefully. Every word you speak after forgiveness carries multiplied power. It is as though the static is cleared from the radio of consciousness, and the divine signal is heard pure again. In that still frequency, the inner Christ begins to instruct you directly. He whispers intuitive ideas, points you toward right action, guides your steps through the unseen corridors of circumstance. Sometimes the guidance comes as a gentle feeling, a nudge to call a friend, to visit a place, to start anew. Sometimes it comes as a dream, or a sudden flash of understanding that solves a problem long unsolved. These are not coincidences. They are the fruits of reconciliation between your conscious and subconscious mind. Pause and realize. The Christ within you is not a distant deity, but the very intelligence breathing your breath. When you affirm, "I am divinely guided in all I do," it is this presence that answers, for it is both the speaker and the listener. When you declare, "Everything I touch prospers," it is this same presence that shapes the outcome. Therefore, guard the state of forgiveness as a sacred altar. Let no resentment enter again, for it would desecrate the temple you have cleansed. If ever bitterness returns, cleanse it at once with the simple decree, "I bless, I release, I am free." Say it until peace returns, and then go on with your work joyfully. For the Christ mind is practical. It delights in activity. It heals through the very rhythm of your daily living. Through your words, your labors, your smiles, your silence. Now breathe and imagine a soft radiance descending to the crown of your head. See it flowing like golden water through every nerve and cell, dissolving all remnants of fear or guilt. Feel it pooling in your heart, expanding outward as a sun of compassion. This is the presence of the inner Christ, the light that cannot be extinguished. Whisper with me, "Every cell of my body is under divine order now. My word is my seed is my reality. I live in the light of forgiveness. I walk in the protection of love." Let these sentences circle through your awareness like a soft chant. They are not petitions. They are decrees. They command the subconscious to embody the peace already given. Tonight, before sleep, review your heart as a gardener surveys the field. If you see any weed of judgment, uproot it with the word blessed. Then surround yourself with your protective decrees. Divine love surrounds me, enfolds me, and protects me. The light of God goes before me. The presence of God is within me. I rest in the secret place of the Most High. Repeat these 3 times, feeling each repetition deep in the stillness. Then drift into slumber, knowing the inner Christ keeps watch through the night, rebuilding your world in beauty and in perfect order. The river has reached the sea. All that was fragmented in you now seeks reunion in the one life. The mind that once prayed in solitude begins to feel the pulse of a greater rhythm, the heartbeat of collective creation. For no man truly live alone. Each consciousness is a note in the vast symphony of divine expression. When one soul awakens, 100 more are quickened. When one tongue blesses, the air around it trembles with healing. Your personal decree, once whispered in secret, becomes part of the word resounding through humanity. This is group word power, the hidden covenant of souls aligned in light. Where 2 or 3 agree in name and tone, mountains of thought dissolve. When hundreds affirm peace, wars of mind lose fuel. When thousands declare abundance, poverty begins to blush and withdraw. Even now, as you hear these words, unseen companions in every nation are speaking the same language of spirit. Let there be light. It rises from temples and kitchens, from deserts and offices, from hearts that know the inner Christ is one and indivisible. The subconscious of mankind is a single field. Every loving word sown into it multiplies beyond the sower's sight. So guard your speech not only for your sake, but for the world's. The vibration you release becomes part of the human weather. Clouds or sunlight, according to your tone. Speak peace, and you cool the tempest of nations. Speak hope, and you fertilize the soil of civilization. I have witnessed whole groups transformed by a single night of unified affirmation. In Los Angeles long ago, a circle of seekers gathered weekly to practice the law of the word. They spoke together, slowly, rhythmically. Divine love heals and harmonizes all conditions now. The riches of God flow freely through every channel of good. The light of Christ illumines every mind and heart. They did not beg or bargain. They declared. Within months, members reported reconciled families, restored health, sudden promotions, and above all, a peace that seemed to breathe through the entire city. The outer world is but a mirror of our shared inner conversation. Imagine what would happen if, in this age of instant connection, millions joined in a single decree of harmony. No weapon could withstand the vibration of such concord. For word is creative electricity. When multiplied, it becomes lightning. Therefore, let us now perform the sacred synthesis. Personal faith joined the collective decree. Close your eyes. Sense humanity as a vast garden. Each mind a seedbed waiting for the rain of divine word. Whisper softly, peace to every man and woman on this earth. Love to every child yet unborn. Light to every mind still wandering in shadow. Feel these words expanding until they fill the world like dawn. See every nation bathed in golden stillness, every heart answering back. Amen. This is not imagination. It is creation in progress. Now, turn inward again. The same light that circles the planet dwells in your chest, breathing with you, shining through your eyes. That is the inner Christ, the presence that heals and creates the eternal I am behind all names. He has never left you. He has only waited for your recognition. Say with me, I am the channel of divine love. I am the voice of perfect order. I am the life of God made visible. Let those sentences echo until they feel like your heartbeat. When you rise tomorrow, speak to the dawn as a master builder. This is the day the Lord my own higher consciousness has made. I will rejoice and create within it. Then carry your light into every conversation, every message, every silent thought. Each word you offer will either build or destroy. Choose always to build. Where there is criticism, plan understanding. Where there is fear, speak courage. Where there is doubt, whisper faith. For the universe records every tone and returns it to you magnified. And should weariness come, as it sometimes will, remember the living presence inside you. He neither slumbers nor forgets. Call gently upon him. Inner Christ, renew thy strength in me now. Feel the invisible energy rise like morning wind through the trees of your being. You are never alone. Creation continues through you that are. Invite friends, family, or seekers anywhere in the world to join a short daily decree for 7 days. 2. Unify. At a chosen hour, speak together, aloud or in silence, the following affirmation loop. Every cell of my body is under divine order now. Everything I touch prospers. I am divinely guided in all I do. Divine love surrounds me, enfolds me, and protects me. My word is my seed. My seed is my reality. Tonight I plant life, health, and abundance. 3. Extend. After each session, imagine those words rippling outward every soul on earth. 4. Record. Note in a journal the quiet evidences of change. Improved moods, swift opportunities, unexpected peace. 5. Rejoice. At week's end, give thanks aloud. The word has done its work, and it is very good. Thus the circle is complete. The word spoke you into being. Now you speak the word anew. The builder and the blueprint are one. The seed has become the tree. The river has found the sea. The sea has become cloud to rain again upon new beginnings. So it is, and so it shall ever be. The inner Christ, the presence that heals and creates, abides in you eternally. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Psalm 19, verse 14. Peace be to you. Light be through you. Love be as you forever.